The summer of 2025 brought relentless storms to central China. Rain fell for weeks, swelling the Yangtze River to record levels. Sichuan and Chongqing were inundated, and the government issued a red alert. Catastrophe was imminent. The Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest, faced unprecedented pressure as its reservoirs overflowed. Life ground to a halt. Schools and businesses closed, roads emptied, and millions braced for disaster. In cities like Yichang and Wuhan, fear was palpable. Evacuation orders loomed. News channels showed dramatic images of surging rivers and frantic preparations. The red alert was more than a warning. It was a test of modern engineering against nature's fury. As the rain kept falling, one question echoed. Would the dam hold, or would millions face devastation? The world watched, waiting for an answer that would shape the fate of a nation. The Three Gorges Dam, a marvel of engineering, was built to tame the Yangtze and power China's growth. Construction began in 1994, aiming to end centuries of deadly floods and generate clean energy for millions. The dam stretches over 2 kilometers and holds back a reservoir so vast it can be seen from space. Over 1 million people were displaced, and ancient sites vanished beneath the rising waters. The dam improved shipping and symbolized China's ambition, but it came with controversy, environmental destruction, lost heritage, and safety concerns. Critics warned of ecological damage and seismic risks, but leaders pressed on, seeing it as essential for progress. By 2025, the dam was both a source of national pride and a reminder of the costs of conquering nature. Now, its strength would be tested as never before. The dam was designed for a 1,000-year flood, but climate change rewrote the rules. Warmer air brought heavier rains and more violent storms, making extreme floods a new normal. In July 2025, rainfall shattered records, overwhelming the dam's capacity. Operators faced a grim choice: hold back water and risk structural failure, or release it and flood cities downstream. The speed and volume of water arriving from upstream reservoirs created a domino effect, pushing the dam to its limits. This crisis exposed a global truth infrastructure built for the past can't always withstand the climate of today. The Three Gorges Dam, once a symbol of control, now stood as a warning of our vulnerability. Nature's power was no longer predictable, and the stakes had never been higher. Around the world, engineers and leaders took note: no dam, no wall is invincible. The future would demand new thinking or face new disasters. As rain hammered the region, upstream reservoirs overflowed, unleashing torrents into the Yangtze. Cities in Sichuan and Chongqing became waterlogged wastelands. Homes and factories vanished beneath muddy waves. Millions were ordered to evacuate, wading through flooded streets as rescue teams searched for survivors. Downstream, cities like Wuhan braced for the worst, stacking sandbags and preparing shelters. The threat was clear. If the dam released too much water, nothing could stop the flood. The Yangtze Basin, China's economic heart, ground to a halt as crops drowned and factories shut down. Shipping stalled, supply chains snapped, and losses soared into the billions. But the true cost was human. Families uprooted, livelihoods lost, and a sense of security washed away. The disaster showed how quickly nature can erase decades of progress. For those living along the river, the fear was as deep as the floodwaters. The world saw not just a flood, but a warning. As the reservoir swelled, fears grew for the dam's integrity. Engineers monitored thousands of sensors, watching for any sign of strain or movement. The nightmare scenario: a breach unleashing a tsunami, wiping out cities in minutes and displacing millions. Satellite images hinted at shifting ground, fueling anxiety about hidden weaknesses. Built in a seismic zone, the dam faced threats from both water and earth. Operators walked a tightrope: release too much water and flood cities, hold too much and risk collapse. Every decision was a gamble with millions of lives at stake. The world's largest dam had become its greatest risk. The crisis was a race against time, with no room for error. The Three Gorges crisis was a global wake-up call. The Yangtze's disruption rippled through supply chains, affecting economies worldwide. More than that, it showed that even the mightiest structures are vulnerable to a changing climate. The dam, built as a fortress, was pushed to its limit by nature's new extremes. The lesson: we must rethink how we build, plan, and protect. Future infrastructure must be resilient, flexible, and work with nature, not against it. Restoring wetlands and forests can help absorb floods and buffer disasters. The near disaster on the Yangtze
city and provincial
看到没有？那个路是车是龙湾，过头就打人家的天然广场。你看那个路是那个水好大哟。
Ultimate hydroelectric megastructure, the most powerful in the world, spanning 2,335 meters and rising 185 meters high. Built on the Yangtze River in China, it serves a dual purpose, generating hydroelectric power with its 32 turbines, producing over 100 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity per year and controlling the river's severe flooding. The dam acts as a barrier, trapping